Hey everyone, so I wanted to share with you a project that I was working on several years ago, and I'm super proud of it, but it never quite made it off the ground, so enjoy, and then stick around for when it's over. I'll tell you the whole story. There are a lot of art history movements grouped by visual or contextual similarities, but there are also just a few what I call art history moments that changed what art is. Cubism is one of those moments. Here's everything you need to know about it in 2 minutes or less. Cubism is shorter and farther back than you think, roughly 1908 to 1914. The Model T was introduced in 1908, construction started on the Titanic in 1908, the Wright brothers' first flight was just 5 years earlier, streets looked like this, people looked like this guy was president, and the Eiffel Tower was the tallest building in the world. It was pioneered by only two artists, a 26-year-old George Braque and a 27-year-old Pablo Picasso, working so closely together that they were almost one artist. From this point forward, in fact, I will be referring to them as Bracasso. Cubist paintings don't feel particularly inclusive, but don't take it personally. Their purpose was more as a puzzle-solving tool for Picasso than a means of communication or expression. The aim was not to turn things into cubes, but to merge the illusion of a painting with the reality of a painting. Here's what I mean. Paintings are like windows, so you look through them to a portrait, a landscape, whatever. In essence, Cubism broke the glass. So now your eye flips between what's beyond the window, the illusion of the painting, and the actual glass of the window itself, or the surface of the canvas. That's what Cubism does, but it's not exactly what Cubism looks like. It looks like a series of two-dimensional overlapping planes, like you dropped a deck of cards. So it makes perfect sense that in 1912, using scraps of paper is exactly what Picasso did, and why it's still called Cubism. Collage is simply a shortcut, a quick interaction between the surface of the paper and the illusion of the drawing. Picasso broke up at the onset of World War I, but what they accomplished in those short few years led to the formation of countless other art movements. The illustration of the broken window is problematic because it's still an illusion beyond your computer screen. To understand this best, you need to actually break, crack, or shatter your monitor so you can watch this video and see the surface of your viewing device simultaneously. Or find a Cubist painting or collage at your local museum, because I believe the essence of Cubism can only be experienced in person. So first, oh my god, thank you for watching. And second, I wanted to kind of tell you what happened with this entire series. I wanted to make a series of videos, each 2 minutes or shorter, that cover the entirety of art history, not necessarily chronologically, but just kind of my interest level until I had the entirety of art history. And this is the first one, and I spent 3 months or so researching it and doing all of those animations, like the card drop on the Picasso is a green screen. It was the first time I used that. And before I cleaned it all up, made the visuals a little tighter, added overlay text, balanced the volume levels better, I wanted to get some feedback so I knew if I was going the right direction. And so I emailed the professor at New York University, a friend of mine, someone I really respect, to get her feedback, and also she shared it with her class to have a discussion, not just about the theory of Cubism that I was presenting, but also this whole strategy of being very quick and almost humorous throughout the entire thing. And what happened is about less than a week after I emailed that file, my apartment was burglarized. Everything pertaining to this project was stolen. My computer, my backup files, both cameras, my audio recording device, all stolen. I had insurance, don't worry, but all the files were gone, and the only thing I had left was this email attachment, and that's what you just saw at that point. And not only did I kind of dread starting from scratch on all of that work so that I could clean it up better, but also it took the wind kind of out of my sails a little bit to do the project in general. In fact, one of the things I regret is that what's not there is the credits, to give credit to where it's due in that video. And all of the books I had on Cubism, I gave away over the last 4 or 5 years just because it's frustrating for me to look at them on a shelf. And so I don't even remember like most of the stuff I read, except for one. It is the most important one. It's the best thing ever. I have it here. It's Art Since 1900 by 4 of my heroes, Foster, Krauss, Bois, and Buchloh. And like some of the things, like the breaking window and screen, the playing cards, those are me. But the book really kind of got me thinking about Cubism in terms of object versus illusion of image. It's super thick reading. So like for me, it took me like a day and a thesaurus per page. You know what I'm saying? But the theories in it are fantastic. And I thought, man, if there was just a way for me to kind of compress it in a way that I can understand very quickly, I wanted to try to do it justice. So I hope in some way that I did, but it was a big inspiration for me. The second thing that I'm not crediting is the music. The idea was that every kind of segment would have a different band, feature a different kind of up-and-coming band from New York. That was important to me. And that one is a band called Rah Rah Riot. That song is Oh Law, Rah Rah Riot. Look them up. They're awesome. Every song they do is great. But I do wish in that video I would have played a little bit more so it wasn't distracting with my explanations and whatnot. Hey, if you want to support me, best way to do it right now is just click the like button. If this gets significant interest, I'll revisit the idea, but just in general makes me feel great, and so thank you. Also, I'm a real person, and so comment in the YouTube video if you have questions or comments or disagreements or ideas for the future. I would love to hear from you. But the best number one thing that you can do for yourself is to go to the2percent.com, and subscribe to the newsletter. Not only is it a weekly thing that tells you what's happening in art in New York, but any kind of new idea I'm releasing is on there. So in the new videos, I'm also playing with the idea of a podcast, and I do secret undercover audio tours of various New York museums and galleries, and so to learn about all of that, subscribe to the newsletter. But oh my God, thank you so much for making it this far. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed, and please share it with all of your friends, with your professors and teachers and friends. The more people that see this, the more awesome things I make in the future. So thanks everyone, and check out some Cubism.